Good evening and welcome to Express News. I'm Amritpal Singh. This is a show in which we bring you news in a very quick format. Let's begin with the top stories that we're tracking at this hour. Prime Minister Modi meets Luxembourg counterpart Xavier Bettel in a virtual summit. Leaders discuss the entire spectrum of bilateral relationship, including strengthening of India-Luxembourg cooperation in the post-COVID world. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates the Bangalore Tech Summit 2020 via video conferencing, says government policy is able to bring about changes in lives of people majorly through technology, as government's governance model is technology first. At the Tech Summit, Prime Minister Modi says we've enhanced human dignity through technology, also says millions of farmers received monetary support in one click. The theme of the summit is this year is next is now. Prime Minister stresses that at the peak of COVID-19 lockdown, it was technology that ensured India's poor received proper and quick assistance. Also says Digital India has improved lives of marginalized and poor sections of society. Book of selected speeches of the President of India, the Republican Ethics and Loktantra Ke Swar was released by Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh. Delivering the welcome address, Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar says these books will inspire all. Security forces thwart major terror attack in Jammu's Nagrota. 4 terrorists neutralized in an encounter. Identity of slain terrorists is being ascertained. Large quantity of arms and ammunition recovered. Search operation underway. Security tightened in Nagrota along the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway and the highway closed for routine commuting. Security also has been beefed up at the Katra base camp of Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Cave Shrine in the wake of the Nagrota encounter. Preparations underway in Rajouri for the upcoming District Development Council elections. Elections will be conducted in 8 phases between November 28th and December 19th. Voting will be held in Rajouri on the 28th of November. Encounter underway at Paregam area of Pulwama. Police and security forces are carrying out the cordon and search operations. Brief exchange of fire occurred at around 2 this afternoon. Health Ministry approves a new category of selection and nomination of candidates from the wards of COVID warriors under the central pool. MBBS and BDS seats for 2020 and 2021. Health Minister says this is a tribute to those who have served selflessly. Centre rushes high-level central teams to Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat and Manipur. Central teams to assist in strengthening containment, surveillance, testing, infection prevention and efficient clinical management. Spillover effect is being observed in NCR regions due to the surge in Delhi. All-party meeting called by Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal to discuss the COVID-19 situation. The national capital witnessed a spur in coronavirus cases since October 28th. Delhi High Court pulls up Delhi government for its U-turn on capping the number of attendees at weddings in the wake of recent surge in coronavirus cases. Asks, why did you wait for 18 days to restrict the number of attendees at weddings? Indian Railways prepares isolation coaches for COVID patients at many railway stations in Delhi, including Shakur Basti. Railways takes all precautions to control the crowd during the Chhath celebrations. India ramps up fight against COVID-19 with recovery rate touching 93.58%. Active cases continue to be below 5 lakh at just 5% of the total cases. Over 12.85 crore samples tested for COVID-19 so far. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath questions the Gupkar alliance, says Congress's dual attitude towards Jammu and Kashmir is playing with national unity, says Congress must clear its stand on Gupkar alliance and Article 370. World Toilet Day is being observed today with the theme Sustainable Sanitation and Climate Change. Prime Minister Modi says the highlights the benefits of expanding toilet outreach across the country. says it brought tremendous health benefits along with dignity, especially to our Nari Shakti. Union Minister for Jal Shakti Gajendra Singh Shekhawat virtually confers the Swachhta Awards to states and districts for their leading role in Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. The minister also interacts with panches and sarpanches. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar speaks at the IAE Energy Technology Perspectives 2020, says country-specific, appropriate and affordable technology is the need of the hour. India is giving a big push towards e-transport and we are also achieving higher energy efficiency. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh inaugurates land management system in Delhi. Key objectives of the project is to enable ease of doing business by expediting development projects, fast-tracking permissions of projects of public infrastructure and closer monitoring by the ministry and cutting delays. Bihar's Education Minister Mewalal Chaudhary, mired in corruption charges, submitted his resignation today within days of taking oath. He submitted his resignation after meeting Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. Former Chief Minister and Hindustani Awam Morcha President Jitan Ram Manjhi was sworn in as pro tem Speaker of the Bihar Assembly today. Union Petroleum and Natural Gas and Steel Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has called upon the government of Odisha for a comprehensive and long-term resolution of Odisha's border disputes with its neighbouring states of Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh in the spirit of cooperative federalism. Mumbai is getting fast out of corona grip with the doubling rate crossing 300 days. The average patient growth rate in the BMC area has come down to 0.22%. Delhi government has increased the fine for not wearing masks from 500 rupees to 2000 rupees. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal said that a fine of 2000 rupees will be imposed on anyone who is not found wearing a mask at a public place. BJP staged protests against Delhi government's handling of COVID-19 and air pollution. Slogans demanding Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's resignation were raised in the protest. In Rajasthan, the death rate of the COVID-19 has fallen to 0.91%. More than 2,100 people have died due to the disease in the same state so far. 73% of these deaths occurred in urban areas. Delhi's air quality has improved slightly, although thick layer of haze continues to engulf the capital city. The pollution level around the iconic Qutub Minar was registered as moderate today, while ITO and Yamuna Ghat were seen shrouded by a layer of haze. World-famous rock garden of Chandigarh reopened for the public today with a strict COVID protocol. It was closed since the lockdown was announced in March this year. In Bihar, devotees take part in the Chhath Puja celebrations at the ghats of river Ganga on the second day called Kharna. Centre informs Supreme Court that nearly 5,270 crore rupees have been given to 13.1 crore accounts during the ongoing loan moratorium case. Supreme Court asked the power producing companies to give suggestions on loan relief to RBI. Lakshmi Vilas Bank investors are planning to approach the Reserve Bank of India to oppose its decision to merge the 94-year-old Chennai-based lender with DBS Bank. The RBI on November 18th superseded the LVB board and placed the 94-year-old Chennai-based lender under a 30-day moratorium ending December 16th. Benchmark indices broke the 4-day gaining momentum on Thursday. At the close, the Sensex was down 580.09 points or 1.31% at 43,599.96. While Nifty was down 166.6 points or 1.29% at 12,771.70. Gold prices declined 248 rupees to 49,714 rupees per 10 grams in the national capital on Thursday, as investors and traders switched to riskier assets on new vaccine development. Silver also declined by 853 rupees to 61,184 rupees per kilogram compared to the previous close of 62,037 rupees per kg. The rupee fell by 8 paise to close at 74.27 against the US dollar on Thursday on muted domestic equities and strong American currency. West Texas intermediate crude oil was trading 0.29% lower at $41.70 per barrel, while the Brent crude was quoting 0.09% higher at $44.38 per barrel in New York. Oil marketing companies kept the prices of petrol and diesel unchanged on Thursday. In Delhi, the price of petrol remained at 81.06 rupees per litre and that of diesel at 70.46 per litre. US stocks closed significantly lower after a late session sell-off as investors weighed surging COVID-19 infections and mounting shutdowns against encouraging vaccine developments. There is credible evidence that Australian Special Forces unlawfully killed 39 people during the Afghan conflict. A longer-awaited report has found the Australian Defence Force or the ADF has released findings from a 4-year inquiry into the misconduct by its own forces. The United Kingdom, the US, Australia, Canada and New Zealand have accused China of concerted campaign to silence critical voices in Hong Kong in breach of its international obligations. Their foreign minister urged Beijing to reinstate elected members of the territory's legislature who were arbitrarily dismissed last week. US President Donald Trump is to seek a partial recount of votes in the state of Wisconsin, where his rival Joe Biden was projected to win by 20,000 votes. US President-elect Joe Biden on Wednesday warned that the Trump administration's failure to recognize his election victory could delay his pre-planned initiatives to aggressively fight the surging coronavirus. Ugandan presidential candidate Mugisha Muntu has suspended campaigns until other opposition candidates who were arrested on Wednesday are released. Muntu called for the release of Robert Kyagulanyi, popularly known as Bobby Wine, and Patrick Amuriat. Thousands of protesters in Thailand converged on the police headquarters in Bangkok on Wednesday night, defacing the building, and a day after violent protests left dozens injured. In Peru, hundreds of people took to the streets of Lima on Wednesday to demand constitutional reform as the Andean country seeks to leave behind a crisis that was exacerbated by strong protests against political class. In Haiti, anger continues to spill among citizens against the government of the president of Jovenel Moïse, who is facing corruption charges and a crippling economic crisis. Protesters thronged the streets of Port-au-Prince, burning barricades and blocking traffic. Storm Iota thrashed northeastern Nicaragua as a Category 5 hurricane, destroying thousands of homes and leaving many homeless. Iota hit the Nicaraguan Caribbean with the high winds of 160 miles per hour and torrential rainfall before weakening. A veteran Japanese singer has been suspended by his agency after admitting to an extramarital affair. Johnny and Associates said that Masahiko Kondo's thoughtless behavior deserves strict punishment. More than 5.65 lakh coronavirus cases have been reported worldwide, with over 13,53,000 deaths. Over 3.93 lakh people have recovered from the virus. The United States continues to top the list among the worst hit countries affected by the pandemic so far, and with the highest number of infections. The US has crossed the 1 crore mark in terms of COVID-19 cases, recording 1 crore 18 lakh cases of the virus. The US has recorded more than 2,50,000 deaths from COVID-19, a bleak marker as the cases soar once again across the country. According to Johns Hopkins University, the country has now reported 250,029 deaths and nearly 11.5 million cases. Italian hospitals are struggling with the shortage of intensive care specialists as the country battles severe coronavirus second wave, while some citizens are also turning against the health workers. Geneva's coronavirus situation seems to be improving, with around 500 new cases being reported per day as compared to 1,500 cases earlier for the past 3 weeks. South Australian government has announced an immediate 6-day long lockdown coming into force from late night on Wednesday. Schools and universities and restaurants will remain closed under the new restrictions imposed in a bid to avoid the second wave of the virus. French authorities are unlikely to lift a partial coronavirus lockdown anytime soon. France has now exceeded 20 lakh in terms of total coronavirus infections. U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar said that the COVID-19 from vaccines from Pfizer Inc. and Moderna could be ready for the United States authorization and distribution within weeks, setting the stage for inoculation to begin as soon as this year. The World Health Organization's Emergency Program Director has said that vaccines alone would not end the COVID-19 pandemic and would do nothing to stop the current global surge in infections. His comments came a day after pharmaceutical company Pfizer and its German partner BioNTech announced the final results from the late stage trial of the COVID-19 vaccine showed it was 95% effective. Global debt is expected to soar to a record $227 trillion by the end of this year as governments and companies continue to spend in response to COVID-19 pandemic, the Institute of International Finance said in a report on Wednesday. Leon Mendonca is now one norm away from turning into just the second Grandmaster from Goa at the age of 62. The 14-year-old Indian International Master has earned 2 GM norms in the space of 21 days, the latest coming in Budapest. Olympic medalist Gagan Narang and Sushil Kumar on Wednesday met the Parliamentary Standing Committee formed to monitor and assist in Indian athletes' preparations for the next year's Tokyo Games and beyond. An error-prone Novak Djokovic was beaten by only the 4th time this year as Daniil Medvedev reached the semi-finals at ATP Finals. The Serb hit 24 unenforced errors, have 5 double faults in 3-6, 3-6 loss to 4th seed Medvedev in London. Medvedev now looks like a genuine title contender. World number 1 Djokovic can still qualify for the last 4 if he wins his final round match against Alexander Zverev on Friday. Zverev earlier boosted his own hopes with victory over Diego Schwartzman. The German seed, 5th German seed, overcame a poor second set to claim a 6-3, 4-6, 6-3 win against Argentina. Liverpool forward Mohamed Salah has again returned a positive test for coronavirus while on international duty with Egypt. The 28-year-old initially tested positive last week despite not displaying any symptoms. Salah is likely to miss the Reds next because 2 games because of self-isolation rules. Liverpool hosts the Leicester City in the Premier League on Sunday and then Atlanta in the Champions Group match. Romelu Lukaku scored twice as Belgium scored their place at the Nations League finals with victory against Denmark. The victory means Roberto Martinez's side, who beat England 2-0 on Sunday to end the three line hopes of reaching the finals, finish top of Group A2. Phil Foden led England's young brigade in a style. They concluded their Nations League campaign with a comfortable win against Iceland in a dead rubber at Wembley. Foden scored his first England goal with 10 minutes left before quickly adding a second with a low shot. This final game of qualifying campaign has had nothing riding on it, with England's hopes of reaching the finals ended by defeat in Belgium and Iceland without a point in Group A2. Italy advanced to the Nations League Final Four by beating Bosnia-Herzegovina 10-2 on Wednesday. Andrea Bellotti and Domenico Berardi scored in a game that Italy dominated. Federico also hit the crossbar late on with one of Italy's numerous chances. Italy ensured that they finished top of Group 1 and earned the right to host the Nations League finals in October. Holland captain scored a late winner as Holland rallied from a goal down to beat Poland 2-1 in the Nations League Group Group 1 on Wednesday. Holland captain Wijnaldum added to his 2 goals against Bosnia at the weekend to head home the winter. Italy's victory in the Bosnia meant that neither side could top the pool, but Holland finished second with 11 points from 6 matches, one behind the Italians, with Poland third on 7. Northern Ireland were relegated to the third tier of the United Nations League. UEFA's decision to award Romania the points from their cancelled game with Norway meant that even victory wouldn't have been enough to hit the Northern Ireland off the bottom of the group table. A polished Wales overcame Finland's stubborn 10 men to win their Nations League group and clinch promotions to the competition's top 5. Scotland failed to turn dominance into their goals as their 9-game unbeaten run ended in Slovakia. Steve Clark rested the 8 of the side that beat Serbia in the Euro 2020 playoff final on Thursday. Formula One world champion Lewis Hamilton is hopeful that he can reach an agreement with Mercedes that will keep him at the team beyond the end of the season. Hamilton won his 7th world title in Turkey, equaling Michael Schumacher's record. Rohit Sharma begins his fitness training at the National Cricket Academy today. Rohit is not part of India's limited over squad for the Australia tour. Warner Bros. Has released the first trailer of its upcoming Tom and Jerry movie, which is a blend of animation and live action. It is the first movie to feature the legendary cat and mouse duo in almost all decades. And the setting is at a wedding in New York. Germans enjoyed 111 mannequins set up in central Marienplatz Square in Munich. The art installations of the mannequins, dressed in red and white, showcases social distancing in a unique way. Its creator, Dennis Joseph Messig, believes that the art piece is calling for more mindfulness and appreciation in the people during the coronavirus cases. In a small art gallery in the Afghan capital, artist Panahi aims to revive the use of felt in arts to showcase her war-torn country's creativity and to create jobs for young, hard-hit people and by the pandemic and the economic crisis it has caused. Like every winter, the red-crowned Eurasian birds are black on Israel's Hula Lake, some of which stop over for an en route from Russia, Finland and Estonia to Ethiopia's Lake Tana and others here are for the entire cold season. This year, however, some of the 100,000 cranes flew in little late, with global warming being a possible reason for the delay. 58 years ago on this day, the Battle of Razangla was fought by 120 Indian Army soldiers against 1,300 Chinese. These men from 13 Kumaon won the battle with their sheer bravery and courage, and the out of 120 men, 114 gave the ultimate of sacrifice. A film on Razangla based on the book Prakram by Dinesh Kantpal was released today at Noida. Superhero movie Wonder Woman 1984 will debut in US theatres and on HBO Max streaming service on Christmas Day. Wonder Woman 1984 is the last big budget action film on the 2020 schedule. American actress Regina King has stepped away from her usual place in front of the camera and petitioned herself behind it for the feature film directorial debut One Night in Miami. Based on the Oliver Award-winning play, the film received Oscar buzz when it was premiered at the Venice Film Festival in December. Canadian pop singer Justin Bieber is set to make a grand return to the America's Music Awards stage, first time since 2016 for a special performance celebrating the 10th anniversary of his AMA's debut. Shah Rukh Khan is all set to return as the Raj from DDLJ for his cameo role in Amir Khan's upcoming film Lal Singh Chadda. Amir and SRK were seen together on screen in Ashutosh Gavrikar's 1993 debut film Pehla Nasha. The makers of the film Unfair and Lovely, starring Randeep Hooda and Eliana De Cruz, have finally wrapped up the shooting schedule. The team of film, which was shooting in Haryana, wrapped up on the 18th of November. Randeep shared a post on social media while documenting the wrap-up sets of the film. Actress Rakul Preet Singh is all set to take to the skies as co-pilot in the upcoming drama Mayday, starring Ajay Devgan and Amitabh Bachchan in the lead. She will begin the Mayday shoot mid-December in Hyderabad. The trailer of Netflix India's new series Bhag Bhag is out, and it stars Swara Bhaskar in the lead role. The series follows Been, played by Swara, who runs away from her cookie-cutter life to pursue her career as a stand-up comedian. Bhag Bhag starts streaming on Netflix from December 4th. Like many people around the globe, Bollywood megastar Amitabh Bachchan also seems to be a fan of Netflix original series The Crown. Amitabh Bachchan has confessed that he cannot stop watching the Netflix series The Crown. The series primarily focuses on Princess Diana and her relationship with the royal family. Adipurush, starring Prabhas and Saif Ali Khan, will be released on August 11, 2022. The film is an adaptation of Ramayana and Prabhas playing the role inspired by Lord Ram and Saif playing the role based on Ravan. Going down memory lane, actor Vidhu Dara Singh paid tributes to his father Dara Singh on his 92nd birth anniversary. Legendary Dara Singh Randhawa was an Indian wrestler, actor and a politician who started acting in 1952. The star was the first sportsman to be nominated by Rajya Sabha of India. And that's it then in Express News. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.